Okay. Please give me 2 more minutes. I'll open the files. I'll open the compiler also. Compiler loading takes some time. That's the problem. Sure. Okay, this one here. Okay, so first I'll discuss, the programs. Then I'll take up the. We'll continue with the discussion on our regular topics. Okay. Is it screen share? No. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay, it's fine. Okay. Yes. So last class, yeah, we discussed this PyA program. Um, I think we spent little sufficient time on this, discussion on the program. So let us look into the execution now. Meantime, I'll open the question paper also. The first CA question paper. CA question paper. Okay. So since it is a combination of 2 or 3 programs, so we'll check the output, one by one. One by one in the sense, I run the program, no doubt, but for each part of the question, we'll check the, answer. We'll check the output. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Yes, according to the program. So first we have to provide the data from starting from 30H, 30H to 37H. Okay. In random order. Somebody's on the line. So just a second. Okay. So we have to provide the data in a random order, and we have to check the output. Okay. First, let me run the program. So PyA program. Of course, since I have run the program, hopefully there will not be any errors because I have tested it for 2 or 3 samples of data. Okay. The next is debug start session. Okay. So first we have to provide the. I think by now you guys know how to provide the data. I think this that is very clear that we have seen in multiple. Oh, sorry. I run the. Sorry, guys. I ran the sample.asm. So I need to remove this. I need to add a PyA.asm. I need to remove this file. Remove file.asm. Sample.asm. I need to add the PyA.asm. Okay, so which are here you can open any programs, but to the project you have to add the file which you are going to run. Okay, PyA.asm, add the file, close. Of course, it's already saved. Build target to check for syntax error. Okay, so the errors are 0. Debug start session. Here, okay. Yes, give me a second. I close from okay. So now, so the data we have to provide starting from the 30H according to the question, 30H to 38 bytes of data, 30 to 37. Okay. How to do that? Go to the compiler. Location 30H. Since it is a internal RAM location, it should be D for data memory 0x30. Okay. So starting from 30, we have to provide data in some random order. So modify memory at 30H. Okay. So I'll give some data in random order. This okay. Can give any data, no problem. 24. Okay. This okay. Observe this. I'm not providing H here. I'll just say 24. If I say H, it will take it as 24. If I specify only 24, it will treat it as 24 decimal. Internally, it will convert into its hexadecimal equivalent. Okay, so that's why I will not give H. Let it convert into hexadecimal equivalent. We'll treat that as the data. Not an issue. Okay, 24, 36, 85, 42, that is some random database. Okay, 94. How many I have given? 6. So I have to provide 2 more. It's a 23, some random data. Okay, so 3, 3, 6. Okay, so 6 data I have given. As I said, since I'm not specifying H here, to the last number I'll specify H. To other numbers I have not specified H, so it will take it as it is. Okay, I mean sorry, the numbers which are not specified with H, it will be converted into its hexadecimal equivalent, because it will treat these numbers as a decimal numbers. Whereas the last number I specified it as H, it will take it as it is. You can see that all the numbers except the last number, the number is specified as the numbers are converted into its hexadecimal equivalent, but the last number is treated as it is. It is taken as it is because it is specified with H. It's okay, fine. Now, what is the first part of the program is? Okay, somebody is on the line. Just a second. Okay. I don't know that they could join. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, so the first part of the program says write a program to extract lower nibbles of all the numbers between 38 to 37H. The lower nibbles should be stored in the register R0 to R7 of bank 2. Okay, yes, now to check this R0 to R7 of bank 2, I'll open the memory location. I'll go to the another memory window, open memory window. Yes, if you cannot see this, it's very easy to open. Okay, go to view, go to memory window. You can open maximum of 4 memory windows, which I already opened. Okay, because to test the output I have already opened. So I'll go to the second memory window. Here the location is 10H. Okay, because bank 2 starts from 10H. Okay, so the address is 10H. So the another memory location what I require is, according to the program, find the sum of all the lower nibbles and store it in R0 of bank 0. This R0 you can observe in the project window. Okay, in the register window only you can observe this R0. That's not an issue. Okay, so the find the largest of all the lower nibbles, store it in R1 of bank 1. Okay, so what is the R1 of bank 1 is? So in that I need to check the address. So R1 of bank 1 is the address is, just a second. So I'll open R1 of bank 1. So R1 of bank 1 will be 11H. Okay, just a second. I'll open memory address, register bank locations. Okay, fine. So register banks. So this is R1 of bank 1. Okay, so the address for R1 of bank 1 is this one. R1 of bank 1 is 09H. Okay, so go to the compiler. So it should be confirm again. So it should be the largest of all the lower nibbles will be stored in R1 of bank 1. Okay, so whose address is, just now we saw it is 09H. Okay, so in this another memory window, open the location 09H. 09. Okay, so here you should find the largest of all the lower nibbles, and the smallest of all the lower nibbles. The smallest of all the lower nibbles should be in the R2 of register bank 3. R2 of register bank 3. Okay, so if you see this memory window, go to R2 of register bank 3. Okay, R2 of register bank 3, which is whose address is, let me erase all this. Yes. Okay, R2 of register bank 3, whose address is 1AH. 1AH. Okay, so go to the compiler. In one more memory window, open the address. This should be D. Okay, there is internal memory 0x 1AH. It will automatically take 0x means hexadecimal. You need not specify H here. It will automatically take. Very simple. Okay. So to start with, I specified the data as 18. You see this location, guys. So the data here is 18, okay, 24 and 55. Then comes 2A and 25. Some random numbers are given. 5E and 17 and 8. I think I should write. Let it not overlap here. Okay. Let me write starting. Okay. Let me write here only. No problem. Okay. So data what I have given is 18, 24, 55, 55, 2A, 25, 5E, 1789. 1789. Okay. So according to our program, all these lower nibbles should be separated, and it should be stored starting from R0 of register bank 1, which we will find in this memory window 2. Okay, memory window 2. That is starting from location 10H. Okay, so there is should be stored in R0, sorry, bank 2, not bank 1, guys. R0 to R7 of bank 2, which address which starts from the location 10H. Okay, let us run the program. Yes, I'll run the program. Okay, I'll run the program. F11 on my keyboard. You can observe the memory location that is starting from 30H, as well as location starting from 10H. Okay, F11 on my keyboard. Okay. Yes. Okay. So first is separation. Okay, there is lower nibbles are separated. That is these data. What are the data, guys? 8, 4, 5, A, 5, E, 7, 9 should be stored in the location starting from 10H. Should be stored starting from 10H. Here we go. F11 on my keyboard. You see that these numbers are separated and they're stored starting from location 10H. Okay, so first number 8 is separated from 18. It is stored in the 10H. Like this, the program continues. Then comes 04. Observe this location, guys. Then comes the 5. Then comes A. Then comes should be 5 again. Okay. Then comes E. Okay. Yes, E. Then comes 7. And then comes 9. Then comes 9. Okay, fine. So up till this point, we are in the program to separate the lower nibbles of the data stored in the location 30H. Stored in the location 30H. And we have transferred into the location starting from 10H. Starting from location 10H. Okay, fine. Because I hope till this point it is very clear. So the next part of the program is sum of all the numbers, all the lower nibbles should be stored in R0 of register bank 0. Okay. For that, I'll continue to run the program. Observe this location is R0 of register bank 0. That will consist of the sum of all the lower nibbles. Okay. So continue to execute the program step by step. F11 on my keyboard. Okay. Yes. Now the program runs. To add up all the lower nibbles. At the end of the execution of this code, the sum of all the lower nibbles will be in the R0 of register bank 0. Yes, it is still running. When it executes the last line, that is line number. Oh yeah, now it is okay. Now R0 consists of the sum of all the lower nibbles. Okay, yes, when you add up all these lower nibbles, the result is 3EH, which is stored in the R0 of register bank 0. That you can find here. R0 of register bank 0. Okay, that's fine. Next is okay. Yes, this is 9. Okay, yes, observe this. Okay, next I'll continue the program execution. Next part of the program is the largest. Shashi Kumar was, morning he was talking, to find the largest of all the lower nibbles and store it in R1 of register bank 1. This is the final result. Okay. Before that, let's observe these locations. Okay. Now the third part of the program execution is in these locations, starting from 10H, data will be automatically arranged in a particular order. Okay, I have written the program for descending order. So these data will be arranged in a descending order in the location 10H. This 30H will not be disturbed, where we have given the original data 30H. These data will not be disturbed. It will be arranged as it is. Okay, it will be kept as it is without any change. But starting from location 10H, data will be arranged in a particular order. It is in order in my case in this program. You can write the program for ascending order also. You need not write the program for descending order. Once it is arranged in a ascending or descending order, then we can pick the data that is according to our requirement. We can pick the largest or we can pick the smallest from the memory. Okay, fine. So let us run the program. Observe the location starting from 10H. So the data will be arranged in a descending order. I'll run the program. F11 on my keyboard. And press F11 on my keyboard. Okay, you can see that I'm executing stepwise. You can see that data are slowly started changing. This, can you observe that this now the 5 and 4 was swapped because I'm arranging the data in the descending order. All the largest number will come towards left hand side, location on the left hand side. All the lower numbers will move to the right hand side. Okay, that is to the higher address. You can see that the A and 4 is swapped. Okay, the first data was 8, the next data was 4. Okay, so this 4 was compared with 8, no swap because it's already in the descending order. The 4 is compared with 5. 4 and 5 were exchanged. Then 4 is compared with this 4. This 4 comes here. This 4 comes here. This becomes 5. This 4 now is compared with A. So since A is greater than 4, A goes here. That is, this location will have A. This location will have 4. This 4 now will be compared with 5. So 5 and 4 will be exchanged. So 4 comes here. 5 goes here. Like this comparison continues. Okay, so this we are just in the first phase of the iteration, first phase of the sorting algorithm. Okay, when the first phase runs, okay, when the first phase completes, okay, let's observe this program execution also. That is when R2 becomes 0. When R2 becomes 0, first phase will be over. Yes, now R2 is 0. Okay, let's observe this. In the first phase, this we discussed in the last class, in the detail. Okay, so first phase, this is the phase. Let me write like this. So this thing is clear, phase. Okay, how many phases? There will be 8 phases totally. First phase, second phase, third phase. Okay, fourth phase, fifth phase, sixth, seventh. Sorry, I wrote the 7th wrong. Okay, seventh phase and 8th phase. Okay, in each phase there will be 8 iterations, totally 8 iterations. Number of iterations are 8 in each phase. Now what will happen is, I'm arranging the data in the descending order. In the first iteration, in the first phase. Okay, in the first phase, the smallest will be in the last location. Okay, in our case, what are the data guys? The smallest data is 4. The smallest data is 4. You can observe that the 4 is in the last location. 4 is already sorted. That means we have already found out the smallest among the given data. Smallest among the given lower nibble. Next, in the second phase, what will happen is, the smallest will be anyway in the last location. The next smallest will be in the next location. Okay. Similarly, in the third iteration, the next smallest comes to the next location. Next smallest. Like this, it continues. When all the 8 phases are over, all the data will be arranged. That is, the largest will be in the first location. That is location number 10, and the smallest will be in the last location, that is 17H. Okay, this will be the smallest. Okay, at location 17H, there is smallest number. At location 10H, there is the largest number. Yes, okay? Did you understand this? So now I have completed the first phase. You can find the smallest in the locations 17H. Okay, the same program continues. The sorting program continues. Observe this, guys. Okay, R2 has become 0. R2 has become 0. That means one iteration is over. Okay, in the first R3 I'm using for number of phases. R3 was 8. R2 was equal to 8. In the first phase, R2 becomes 0. When the first phase is over, R2 becomes 0. Now in the second phase, R3 is decremented by one value. Okay, R3 was initially 8, it becomes 7. R2 is loaded with 8. So it will go from 8 to 0. 8 to 0. Second phase is over. In the third phase, R3 becomes 6. Okay, and R2 is loaded with 8 again. It will go from 8 to 0. It will go from 8 to 0. Like this it continues. Okay, so that's why what you see now is R3 is 8 initially because only the first phase is over. Only the first phase is over. Next, when I run F11 on my keyboard, R3 becomes 7. Observe this. F11 on my keyboard, R3 becomes 7. That means it has started the second phase. It has started the second phase. When the second phase is over, location 16H will have the second smallest number. 16H will have the second smallest number. Okay, fine. Observe the program now. I'm pressing F11 on my keyboard. The program execution continues. Let me erase this so that you can view this window. F11 on my keyboard. Okay, you can observe that still the largest number is being moved towards left side. As you can observe the program, the numbers are swapped. Okay, so observe the E, the data E. It is trying to move towards left hand side because I'm arranging the data in the descending order. Okay, so I'll continue to execute this. Okay, I'll continue to execute till all the data are arranged in the descending order. Okay, that means till R3 becomes 0, I'll be executing the same program. Okay, I'm executing the same program. You can observe that the smallest number is second smallest number is 5, which is already in the last but one position. Okay, so it continues like this till R3 becomes 0. That means all the 8 phases are over. I'll continue to execute the program. I'm executing stepwise. I'm pressing F11 on my keyboard. Just to observe the output. You need not press F11 always. If you want to see output at each stage, press F11. Otherwise, you can straight away run the program to check the output. F11 on my keyboard. Okay. R3 is 4. R3 became 3 now. There is a third phase of last but one phase is going. Last but 2 phases is running. Okay, so when R3 becomes 2, last two phases, last but one phase is running. So this is the last phase now. When R3 becomes 1, that is the last phase. R3 becomes 1. Yeah, now it is last phase is running. When the last phase is over, okay, I'm running the last phase. When the last phase is over, all the data will be arranged in a descending order. All the data will be arranged in a descending order. When R3 becomes 0, yes, R3 becomes 0 now. Okay, let's observe this. Okay, now the bubble sorting is completed. Okay, now you can observe that data is arranged in a descending order. Descending order means the first location will have the largest data. Sorry, okay. The first location has the largest data, and the last location has the smallest data. Last location has the smallest nibble. Smallest nibble. Is correct? Is that correct, guys? And the last part is very simple. What is the last part of the program, guys? What does it says? Store the largest nibble in the R1 of bank 1 and the smallest in the R2 of bank 3. Okay, this Shashi Kumar was had a question. Okay, how to pick the largest and the smallest is very simple. Okay, once the data is arranged, take this data, store wherever you want. In our case, it is some location. It depends on the question, no problem. Okay, how to pick the second largest, guys? In the second location, for example, if this is the location number 10, at location 11, you'll find the second largest. Similarly, 17 as the smallest, 17H location as the smallest. 16 as the next smallest. 16 as the next smallest. Okay, that's why for this largest and smallest number, what is required is first we have to arrange the data in the ascending or descending order. Very simple. Once you have the data in a particular order, it is very easy to pick the largest or the smallest. Very simple. Okay, fine. So I'll continue the execution of the program. Now it is more of formality now. So the sorting is done. We have to check the output. Okay. So the first largest, what's the first question? The last part of the program says first largest. Largest should be in the R1 of bank 1. Okay, so in the memory 3, I opened 098, which is the R1 of bank 1. This is the R1 of bank register bank 1. Okay, in this location, the data from 10H will be copied. That will be the largest nibble in the given set of data. F11 on my keyboard, you can see that which is the largest data, guys, which is the largest nibble, 0EH. So 0EH is now copied into 098, which is the R1 of register bank 1. Okay, now go to memory window 3, last memory window, where I have copied the we have the address, there is 1AH. If I'll press F11 on my keyboard, the smallest will go to the 1AH location. Okay, that's it. That is the end of the program. Okay, you can find that the smallest is in the 1AH. Out of the given data, this was the smallest number. Is any doubt in the execution of the program, guys? Program execution, there cannot be any doubt. It's quite straightforward. Okay, but did you understood this? How to check the output? I mean, how to check how to provide the input? How to, of course, in this program we have sorted the data, no problem. And we saw how the data are arranged in a particular order. In this program, if you replace GNC with JC, it will arrange the data in the what you call ascending order. Very simple. You can choose ascending or descending based on the requirement. So we also saw how to. We also saw which is the largest data. Not largest. Sum of all the lower nibbles. Sum of all the lower nibbles was arranged in R0, that is 3H. Sum of all the low nibble was 3H, and we also saw that largest and smallest are grouped in are stored in a particular memory location. That's all. Very simple. Is this okay, guys? If there's any doubt in this program, guys, in this program execution, anybody has any doubt? If anybody has any doubt?
Sir.
Yes, Therapada? Yes, tell me this. If anybody has any doubt, we can take up that now. Of course, this program will not give the solution for the what you call your assignment program. But if you can understand this little complex program, I'm sure you'll be able to do the that assignment programs. This is very simple, guys. Yes, see, when you can understand this program, bigger program, 5B is even bigger than this. I'll explain this. This takes some time. Okay, so this is even bigger program. So if you can understand this 5B assignment programs is nothing. You'll find it is very easy. Assignment program becomes very easy. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. So if you don't have any doubt, let us go to 5B program. Let us wind up with the 5B program so that Okay. Yes. What is 5B program? Let us look into the 5B program. Write a program. Of course, it's not specified assembly or C. So at this point, it is very clear. We are writing the assembly code. So that's why we are not specified whether it is a assembly program or a C program. In the exams, you will have the clear clarity, like whether you have to write an assembly program or you have to write a C program. Okay. If nothing is specified, you can decide. You can write as assembly program or C program. That is left to you. Okay. If nothing is specified, write a program to identify all the even numbers and odd numbers between the locations 30 and 37H. It's very simple, guys. Okay. What is the first part of the program says, guys? Very simple. We have the data starting from location 30H to 37H. This is the 5B program. 3A. So I don't know why I'm writing 3A. It's 30, not 3A. 30H. Okay, up to 37H. Some data, random data are stored. I'll take one some sample data 6, 4, 1, 2, something like this. 3, 9, 2, some data. I guess. Okay, fine. First part of the program says you have to find out, identify all the even numbers and odd numbers between the locations. Okay, so in the given data, you have to identify which are the even numbers, and which are the odd numbers. Very simple. Okay. Second part of the program, store the even numbers in the registers of bank 1. Store the even numbers. Okay, so out of this, whichever are even numbers. Okay, so register bank 1. Yes, from where register bank 1 starts? Register bank 1 starts from the location 08H. Register bank 1 starts from the location 08H. These even numbers should be stored in these locations starting from 08H. In my case, example sample, like for example, I have 6, and then comes 4, then comes 2, and then I have 2. Okay, something like this. And you can take some example, no problem. Okay, this is the second part of the program. Third part of the program says store odd numbers in the register bank 2. Very simple. Okay, what is register bank 2 is? From which location register bank 2 starts from? Register bank 2 starts from the location 10H. 10H. Okay, in this location you have to store all the odd numbers. For example, let's say 1, then comes 3, we have to store 3. Okay, and then comes, let's say, 9, for example, and then there is a 5. Some example, I'm taking some example. Okay, something like this. Very simple. Okay, next is find the difference between the largest even number and the largest odd number and store it in R0 of bank 0. Very simple. Okay, first let us understand the program. Find the difference between largest even number and largest odd number. Okay, that means in these locations, that is, after copying the even numbers to register bank 1 and odd numbers to register bank 2, we have to sort the number in starting from location 08H and starting from location 10H in a particular order. Let us say, for example, sort the number in a descending order. For example, in a descending order in both the locations, in both set of locations, sort the number in descending order. If you sort the number in descending order, the first location will have the largest number. Yes, correct? The first location will, I think I can pick another color, it's not clearly visible. I can erase this also so that somebody has a question or somebody wants to say something.
Why are we starting register bank 1 location from 08H?
Okay, why 08H is the starting address of the register bank 1. If you see this diagram, there is here it is. Okay, so here if you see this register bank, let me split it to the page. This is a little bigger picture. It's a bigger picture. Oh yeah, this is it fairly visible, guys? I understand it is very small. Register bank 0, starting address is 00H. Okay, 00H. What is the last location of register bank 0? 07H. 07H. Register bank 1, starting address is 08H. Register bank 1, starting address is that. What I mean by starting address, you may ask a question, why 0FH is not the starting address now? Because first register is R0 of register bank 1, whose address is 08H. Last register of register bank 1 is R7, whose address is 0FH. 0FH. Similarly, if you take register bank 2, the starting address is 10H. Starting address is 10H. Similarly, the last location address is 17H. 17H of that of register bank 2. Similarly, register bank 3, the first location is 18H. First location is 18H. and the last location is 1FH. Last location is 1FH. Okay, so what is the first address of register bank 1? 08H. Did it answer your question? Somebody, I don't know who was that. Shalini, na? Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Shalini, full name is not being displayed here. This, okay, so I'll not be able to call you by name. I think that answered your question. So accordingly, in this data, I'll go back to this number. Okay, so we have separated the even numbers and odd numbers. We have stored even numbers in the register bank 1 starting from the location 08H, odd numbers stored in register bank 2 which starts from the location 10H. Now the question is why I should start from 08H. Can I start from 09H? Fine, that depends on the problem. You know, if it is asked like you have to start from the first location, see in this problem, I think that was the Shelby's doubt, you know. Okay, what it says is store the even numbers in the register bank 1. It does not specify that you have to start from the first location only, correct? In register bank 1, you need not start from the first location. Register bank 1 start from 08H. You can start storing the data from 09H, no problem. That's also okay. It doesn't specify you have to start storing from first location. The program does not also specify that you have to start storing the data from, you know, first location, and then you can start storing the data from last location. That's also okay. Register bank 1, you can start storing the data from 0FH. That's also okay. But you should not get confused, you know, whether you're storing the data from last location to first location or from first location of a register bank 1 to last location of a register bank 1. As long as you're not confused, you can store the data anywhere within the register bank 1. That means, I mean to say, you can start from the first location, you can go to the last location of register bank 1, or start storing the data from even numbers from the last location of register bank 1 and go to the first location of register bank 1. Anything is possible, okay? But it should be in an order. Why? Because we have to sort it. We have to sort the data. So better to keep it in a particular, store it in a particular order. Order, I mean to say, you can start storing the data from last location to first location, or start from the first location, go to the last location. Very simple. Okay. Now the next part of the program says, so find the difference between the largest even number and the largest small number. Okay. So thereby, what is the next requirement now is, in the register bank 1 where we have the even numbers and register bank 2 has all the odd numbers, sort the data in a particular order. Let us say we are sorting in the descending order. Okay, when you sort the data in a descending order, the largest even number will be in the first location, and since I'm taking from the first location of register bank 1, the location is 08H. There is 08H as the largest even number. Similarly, when I sort the data in the register bank 2 in a descending order, the largest odd number will be in the location 10H. Largest odd number will be in the location 10H. Very simple. Okay. Next part of the program says, you know, question says, find the difference between the largest even number and the largest odd number. This how to difference is very simple. Find the difference between largest even number, that is 08H. I'll write here only, somewhere here only. That is, I need to find out the difference between content of 08H location and content of 10H location, which gives the difference between largest even number minus largest odd number. Very simple. Largest even number minus largest odd number, and this I have to store it in R0 of register bank 0. The difference of these two, largest even number and largest odd number, should be stored in register bank R0 of register bank 0. R0 of register bank 0. Okay, that's all the program is. Is that question clear? This 5B, take some data from 30H to 37H, separate even numbers and odd numbers, store even numbers in the register bank 1, odd numbers in register bank 2, find the difference between largest even number and the largest odd number. Very simple. And store the data of that difference. Store the difference of the largest even and odd numbers in the R0 of register bank 0. Very simple. This is the program. I have written the program. It worked for, I tried for 2 samples. Okay, you can try it for some other sample. So if there is any error, logical error in the program, we'll correct it. Okay, there is no syntax error, no problem. Okay, we'll check that. Okay, first let us understand the program, guys. Of course, program is very simple now. Largest and smallest we have understood. There is a sorting we have done. We have discussed. I'll discuss only how to find out even number and the odd number. That also I think by now you must be knowing. If somebody has a doubt, I'll discuss, for the sake of completion, no problem. Okay, so I'll take the data starting from, this is not starting. Okay, the program is starting from here. I have not written org00h since it is not required. Okay, first I have to store the data starting from 30h. How many bytes of data I have to store? I have to store 8 bytes of data. Okay, and the destination, okay, location is 08h. Why? Because first I have to store the even numbers in the location 08h. That's why I've taken like this. Next part of the program, this is first part of the program, is to find the even numbers. Is to find the, I think I have found the odd numbers, or not even number. R1 is even number. Okay, fine. How to find out the even number? Yes, in any given number, what is the logic of this code? Of this part of the code is very simple. Take any number. Yes, okay. Let us take. I'll take the data as 06. Okay. How to find out whether this is a even number or a odd number? Yes, if you see this number in binary terms, 0 0 0 0. 6 is 0 1 1 0. This is one example. I'll take one more example. Okay, I'll take one more sample data. Okay. Sorry. Yes. Okay. Next is, let us say I'll take 07 for example, 07h, which is the odd number. 06 is even, 07 is odd number. Okay. When I write binary representation of this number, it is 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 1. How to find out whether in C program we have done something like divide by 2, divide a given number by 2. If no reminder, that means it is a even number. If there is a reminder, there is a odd number. Okay, very simple. That also we can do. Okay, but that's quite a little complex method. Simplest method is observe the LSB of a number. Take a number, check the LSB. If LSB is 1, LSB, this is LSB, least significant bit. Okay, least significant bit of a number. If it is 1, that means the number is odd number. If the LSB is 0, that means it is a even number. Very simple. Okay, so accordingly what we have to do is, in this number stored starting from 30h, pick a number. Okay, check its LSB. If it is 0, that means the number is even number. If the LSB is 1, it is a odd number. Very simple. Very, very simple. Okay. How I am doing that in the program? How do we do that in the program? Somebody has a question, guys? Or okay. Here we go. I think by mistakenly the mic was on. Okay. Now let us understand in this program. First, I'll take the sorry. So hold on a second. It is okay. So first, it's in a hang condition. Yeah, here we go. First, I'll take a first number from 30h. 30h, I'll take the first data. Okay, the data is, I'll take it into accumulator. Okay, fine. Now, accumulator contains, let us say, for example, 06h. This is the accumulator, let us say, accumulator content. This is LSB and this is MSB, for example, MSB. Okay. The data is, let us say, for example, 06h, for example. Okay, 0000, and next is, let us say, 0110. So MSB is little too far. I'll cut this so that I'll fit the number here. Okay, fine. Okay, next is I use the instruction RRC. What is RRC, guys? Rotate right the content of accumulator through carry bit. Okay, because to check whether LSB is 0 or 1, this is LSB, whether it is 0 or 1, I'll copy this LSB to carry bit, CY carry bit. Okay, after copying the LSB to carry bit, I'll check whether the carry bit is 0 or 1. How to check whether the carry bit is 0 or 1? I can use two instructions, JC or JNC. JC will check whether carry is 1. JNC will check whether the carry is 0. Okay, very simple. Okay, if carry is 1, that means given number is odd number. If carry is 0, that means the given number is even number. Very simple. Okay, the logic is very, very simple. Okay, so thereby rotate right. Why not rotate left? Why not RLC? RLC will move the data. RLC will copy the MSB to carry bit. MSB to carry bit. From MSB we cannot make out whether the given number is odd or even. Only from LSB we can make out whether the given number is odd or even. So that's why we have to use RRC instruction to copy the LSB bit to carry bit. Okay. So when I run the RRC instruction, LSB will be copied to carry bit. So from that I'm going to check whether carry is even or odd. Carry is even or odd. Okay. Jump if no carry. No carry means carry is 0. If carry is 0, I conclude that the given number is even. Given number is even. Okay. If the given number is even, that is if the carry is 0, I'll jump to subroutine even, JNC. Jump if no carry, I'll go to even. What I do in even is that I'll copy the data. I'll erase this part of the program. So its code is not clear. It's not visible. Okay. If it is even, I'll take the data to accumulator. I'll transfer it into location starting from R1, that is 08H. Okay, I'll increment R1 so that I can go to the next location where I can store the result, next even number. I'll also increment R6. Why R6 is because R6 gives the number of even numbers. Okay, and I'm using R0 in another program. Okay, R6 here, R6 gives the number of even. Okay, what is the idea is this, guys? Okay, whenever carry is checked here, somewhere here, observe this. Whenever carry is checked, okay, for even or odd, whether it is 0 or 1, I need to increment R6. At the end of the program, at the end of the execution of this code, I have checked all the 8 bits of the 8 numbers of the 8 numbers stored starting from 30H. Okay, whenever carry is 0, if I increment R6, at the end of the execution of the code, the content of R6 gives number of even numbers available in 30H. With that intention, that is just to check the number of even numbers. I'm using R6. That's all. That is the intention of R6. Okay. Now to check the second number, in the second number stored in 30H, I need to increment R0. Why? Because R0 is pointing to 30H. So I need to increment R0 so that I can go to the next location. I can pick next location, short jump over. It will go back to here. It will decrement R4. R4 is initially 8, so that this loop will run for 8 times. When it runs for 8 times, all the 8 numbers stored starting from 30H are checked, whether it is even or odd. Accordingly, if it is even, it will be transferred to the location starting from 80H. What if it is odd? What if it is odd? Observe this. If carry is set, that means it is even, then this instruction is executed, that is short jump to odd. It will go to short jump to odd. In odd, what I do is I'll increment R0. That means if it is an odd number, I don't want to execute these lines. Why? Because these lines will transfer the even number to location 08H. If it is an odd number, that is if carry is set to 1, it is an odd. I don't want to transfer the number into location starting from 08H. That's why I'll go to this location, this loop odd. In odd, what I do is I increment R0. That is, I increment the source location where the given data is stored. After incrementing R0, second byte is copied. That means it will point to the second number. I don't say if it is let us say first location is 3. I don't want to send it to 08H. I'll increment R0. It points to the next location. From this location, I need to continue the execution of the program. So thereby, what we do is increment R0, go to the next line. After incrementing R0, go to the next line. Decrement R4 by 1 value. That is, decrement R4 by 1 value. If it is not equal to 0, repeat the process. Okay. That means in this part of the program, what happens is that in this part of the program, I'm only checking the Okay. Okay, in this part of the program, I am checking whether the number is even or odd. If it is even, I am copying the data into location starting from 08H. Okay, so at the end of this execution of this many number of lines, this part of the program, all the even numbers will be stored starting from 08H, which is the register bank 1, which is the register bank 1. Very simple. Okay. In the second part of the program, if you observe the second part of the program, looks similar. The program looks similar. Only difference is that now the target location is 10H. 10H. 10H corresponds to register bank 2. 10H corresponds to register bank 2. In this part of the program, what I'm doing is I'm checking the data stored in 30H, whether it is even or odd. Whether it is even or odd. If it is even, I'm ignoring the data. I'll jump out of this loop. That means I'm not executing these lines. If it is odd, jump if carry. If it is odd, what I do is I'll go to this loop odd one. In this case, what I do is I copy the data, I store it into the destination location, which is R1, which points to the location 10H, that is register bank 2. That means starting from 10H, all the odd numbers will be stored. All the odd numbers will be stored starting from location 10H. Very simple. Okay, now next part of the program, that is third part of the program. The third part of the program is to to find the largest even number. Okay, guess where the even numbers are stored? By the way, it is stored okay, and I'm going to check each number. Okay, something like this, something like this. 08H, this is the 08H location where all the even numbers are stored. I'll pick the first number, I'll compare with the this. In this case, what I'm doing is, in this program, I'm not sorting, I'm only finding the largest or smallest. I'm going to check only the largest or smallest. Okay, to be more precise, I'm checking only the largest number. For largest number, you have to use JNC for largest number. If you use JC, that will check the smallest number. Since the program says, the title of the program says, we have to check the largest number. We have to find out the difference between the largest even number and the largest odd number. That's why this program only checks for the largest number. For that, I'm using JNC. It will check the largest number. Okay, let us see what's happening in this part of the program. Okay, in this part of the program. Okay, so starting from 08 location, so these are the locations 08H. All the even numbers are stored. Let's say, for example, 6, 4, 2, 4, something like this. Only even numbers are stored. Okay, so what I do is, first I pick the data to accumulator from this line. This line, transfer the data to accumulator. Then decrement R2. Decrement R2 means it will go to the next location. Okay, so sorry, this is okay, that's correct. Okay, so pick the decrement R2. Okay, decrement R2 just to find out the just to control the number of iterations. Okay, that means there are totally maximum of 8 numbers. First, I take the first data. Next, increment R1. What does the increment R1 does this? So this location is 10H, not I think. Okay, yes, here 10H stores the odd numbers. Sorry, not even numbers. This is odd number. Okay. Okay, first I did the odd number, then I have done the even number. Actually, here it is the even number. Okay, so this location is 10H. Okay, in 10H, all the odd numbers are stored. 10H, all the odd numbers are stored. This is register bank 2. Register bank 2. Okay, what are the odd number cases? For example, 9, 7, 1, 3, something like this. Okay, or 5, something like this. Okay, all the odd numbers are stored starting from 10H. I'll take the first number to accumulator. transfer the first number to accumulator, increment R1, that means go to the, so R1 is pointing to the 10H, increment R1, it will point to the next byte of data. It will copy this byte of data into B register, which I'm doing in this line of code. Okay. After transferring the second byte to B register, somewhere here, I compare A and B. For comparison purpose, I use the instruction CJNE, compare gem not equal. This we have discussed, guys. In the last class also we have discussed. Okay. It will compare A minus B. It will perform A minus B. Okay. If A is greater than or equal to B, then carry bit will be set to 0. Okay. If A is less than B, then carry bit will be set to 1. Carry bit will be set to 1. Based on that, I'll judge checking the carry bit, which I'm doing here, JNC. JNC means no carry. No carry means A is greater than B. That means first number is larger than second number. Not in this case, of course, not in this example, but in this program, that's how I have written. So if first number is larger than second number, okay, then JNC, then go to L2. L2, that means first number is already larger than second number. For example, let us say this was 9 and this was 7. First number is larger than second number. Then what we have to do is increment R1. That means it will now point to the next number. Now it will compare the next number A1. For example, in my case it is 1. It will be copied into B register. Now it will compare the first number and the third number. Okay, like this it will compare the all the numbers with one number. At the end of the execution of the code, the largest odd number, the largest, let me write here, the largest odd number is available in 60H. It is transferred to 60H, largest odd number. Okay, so at the end of the execution of this code, largest odd number is available in 60H. Similarly, in the third part of the code, this is somewhere here, third part of the code, okay, third part of the code, it will find the largest even number. It will find the largest even number stored starting from 08H. Stored starting from 08H. This is the 08H. All the even numbers are stored. Let's say 6, 4, 2, something like this. Let's say for example, 8, some example. Okay. So it will check all the even numbers. The largest even number will be stored in location 21H, 61H. It will be stored in location. This 60H and 61H is not asked in the program. I'm saving temporarily so that I can find the difference between these two locations. So if I find the difference between the 61H minus 60H at the end of this program, okay, that is the last part of the program. You can see the last part of the program. In the last part of the program, what we are doing is I'm subtracting 61H content of 61H location minus 60H location. 61H location at the largest even number and the 60H location at the largest odd number. Okay, and the result will be stored in R0 of register bank 0. R0 of R0 of register bank 0. R0 of register bank 0. Very simple. This is the program. Clear this? Any doubt in the program? Let us run the program now and let us see the output. Yes, anybody has any doubt in the code, guys? Is that code clear, or any part you want to check it again? Okay.
Sir, sir, why have taken decrement R2?
Okay, decrement R2. Here it is. Okay, I'll explain that. Somewhere here. Okay, decrement R2. Okay, fine. Okay, that's an obvious question. Fine. Yes. Okay. Why it is decrement R2? Please observe this. Observe this part of the program. R1 points to the location 10H. R1 is pointing to 10H. That is register bank 2. Okay, register bank 2. Okay, next is I'm taking R2 as 08H. R2 is equal to 08H. R2 is used as a counter. R2 is used as a counter. Why it is a counter? Observe this. Okay, first from 10H, I'll take the first number into, let's say some example. Let's say this is odd number. No, this is odd number. Let us say 9, for example. Okay, I'll copy the 9 in this line. In this line, I'll copy the 9 to accumulator. I'll copy the 9 to accumulator. Decrement R2. Okay, why decrement R2 is because register, how many locations are there in register bank 2? I mean, how many registers are there? Totally there are 8 registers. That is from R0 to R7. R0 to R7. I assume that, in fact, this assumption is wrong, of course. This can be maximum 4. With 4 also it works. I'll tell you why. Okay. Even if I assume that R0 to R7 has all the odd numbers, like for example 9, 3, 1, 5, 7, something like this. Okay. Maximum comparison I do is only 8. Why maximum comparison? For example, I'll take the first number to accumulator. Let us say I'll take it to accumulator. Second number I'll take it to B register. B register. I'll compare A and B. There is a difference of first 2 numbers. Okay. After comparison, for example, let us say, for example, in this case, if A is greater than B, if A is greater than B, for example, okay, in this case, it is actually A is greater than B, okay. If A is greater than B, I return as it is. I return as it is so that the largest odd number is still in the first location, that is still it is in A register, and the smallest number is in, and that is next smallest is in the second location is in B register. Okay, fine. Now this comparison is done using CJNE instruction. Jump if no carry means the largest is no carry indicates A is greater than B. No carry indicates A is greater than B. That means first number is larger than the second number. Okay. If that is the case, I'll go to L2. Okay. I'll go to L2 and repeat the operation. Okay. Because the second number is already taken to B register. R1 is already pointing to the second location. Okay. When I say increment R1, it points to the third location. But at this point, if carry is set to 1, what happens? What if JC? What is JC condition indicates? That means carry is set to 1. When the carry will be set to 1? When A is less than B. When A is less than B, carry will be set to 1. A less than B indicates that first number which was in A register, second number which was in B register, first number is smaller than second number. First number, that case will be something like this. I'll take one other example. Okay. For example, first location was 3 and the second location was 9. So first location was in A register, second location was in B register. When A minus B is done, that is when A is less than B, carry is set to 1. That means the smallest number is in A out of 2 data, out of 2 locations. Smallest is 3 is in A and the next largest is in B register. Okay. If that is done, that is if carry is set to 1, compiler will go to the next location. Let's observe this. Compiler go to the next location. In this case, what I do is I copy the content of B to A. Why I copy the content of B to A? Because B has the largest. B has the largest. That's why I copy B to A. When I copy B to A, that is A is equal to B. In C language style of instruction, you move A comma B indicates A equal to B. That means B is copied into A. When B is copied into A, okay, observe this next line of the program, guys. Next line of the program. When A is copied to B, that is when JC is set to 1. JC is set to 1. That means when the first location is smaller than the second location, I'll copy the second location data which is in B register into A register in this line of code. Okay, and then increment R1. Increment R1 means R1 is already pointing to the second number. Now it points to the third number. Okay. And next observe this line. DJNZ R3 comma L3, R2 comma L3. Okay. That means R2 is a counter. R2 is a counter which decides how long this code has to be run. Since I assume that since the RB2 register bank 2 has maximum of 8 registers, I'll run this code only for 8 number of times. Why 8 number of times is because, okay, at each execution, at each comparison, I'll always take the largest number to A register. Okay, so largest number will go to it was in B register. Now I copied into A register. R1 now points to the third data. Now the largest number is compared with the, so this third data. See, DJNZ R3 comma L3. R2 is decrement. Initially it was 8. 8 minus 1, it becomes 7. It goes to L3. Where is L3, guys? L3 is somewhere here. At L3, what I do is R1, wherever the location which is pointed by R1, for example, it is now pointing to third location. R1 is pointing to third location. Now it is copied into B register. Now it is copied into B register. Okay. When this data is copied into B register, now the largest out of the first comparison, 3 and 9, the largest is now available in A. The third byte is now copied into B register. In this instruction, there is CJNE A comma B. Observe this, guys. In this line of code, CJNE A comma B. Now I compare the content of A with B. The content of A with B. A minus B. Okay. What is A now? A consists of the largest among the first 2 byte comparison. Largest among first 2 byte comparison. Now the B consists of third byte. The B consists of third byte. Okay. So thereby this code, this set of code, how many times I have to compare this? I'll take the first byte, I'll compare, I'll exchange based on the requirement. Like this, I'll go on comparing. How many bytes I have to compare? I have to compare only 8 bytes. Okay. That means this code has to run for only 8 number of times. This counter, I'm using R2 as a counter which controls the number of times this code is run. It will run only for 8 times. When R2 becomes 0, it will come out of the loop. That means this code is run for 8 times. And at the end of the code, at the end of the execution of the code, the largest odd number is available in accumulate. The largest odd number is available in accumulate. Is that point answers your question? I don't know who asked the question. The answer is, so this is totally mess. Okay. Let me go back here. Okay. Not here. Where should I go back? I should go back to the program. Okay. Fine. So the intention of R2 is to use it as a counter. Use it as a counter to control the execution of number of times iterations. Number of iterations of this code of the program. For that, I'm using R2 as a counter. Okay, does that answer your question?
Sir, there is no need of decrement R2 because eventually we will be doing the decrement using DJ and Z, right?
DJ and Z will decrement R2.
Initially, then R2, why are we using the decrement R2 previous, like in the 38 column?
Okay. The question. Okay, why we are decrementing twice? That's a good question. In fact, I appreciate that. I don't know who is that. Anyway, I really appreciate. You did observe these 2 things. It is very it's appreciable. Okay. In fact, when I wrote, I guess I'll tell you one thing. I wrote this code. Okay. I executed the program. Okay. I got a lot of errors, not syntax errors, not this syntax errors. I got logical errors. Okay. I corrected the programs, I think 5 times. 4 to 5 times. Okay. Each time I used to get the error, not error, I used to get the wrong output. Okay. Where the problem was? The problem was here. This R2 was giving a problem. I'll tell you why. Now, I think you got the point. Okay. I'll explain this. Okay. Why I'm decrementing R2 twice. Okay. Let's observe this. In this point, R2, if I decrement, okay. Initially R2 is 8. I'll take it like this. Initially R2 content is 8. R2 is 8. Okay. I'll decrement by 1. It becomes at this point. At this point in time, if I decrement by 1, it becomes 7. Okay. Increment R1. It goes to the second location in the data array. It will take the data. It will compare based on the carry bit. It will exchange between A and B. It will make sure that the largest even number or the largest odd number will always be in A register, so that this comparison should have the A and the, that is CJNE. What I want is CJNE should have A on the left hand side. Okay, that's my intention. Okay, with that purpose, I'm doing this A and B exchange. Increment R1. Okay, so that it points to the next location. Here, let's observe this. This is the answer for the question. If I do this DJ and Z here, DJ and Z R2 will be decremented by 1 value. Okay. Initially it was already decremented. Initially it was 8, decremented by 1, it was 7. By the time compiler reaches this line, what is the content of R2? It is only 7. Yes, it should be 7. Why? Because out of 8 bytes, out of something like this, out of 8 byte, I'll explain it like this. Okay, this is RB2. Okay, so this is, I'll take 8 byte. Okay, so let's say I'll take some random number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I've done the first comparison. Okay, the first comparison gives the, let me write here. The first comparison gives me the largest among these two. Okay, so this is the first comparison. Next, the number will be compared with the next number. This gives the second comparison. I'm telling you how many comparisons I'm doing. Okay, this is the third comparison. And this is the fourth comparison. This gives the fifth comparison. This is the fifth comparison. This will give the sixth comparison. And these last two number comparison will give the 7 comparison. That means bottom line is, out of 8 bytes, if 8 byte is compared, to find the largest or the smallest among them, how many comparison I am doing? I am doing only 7 comparison, not 8. So decrement R2 here will make sure that though the R2 is initially 8, I'll decrement it to 7. Why? Because in the first comparison, already reduced to 1. That means first 2 bytes when it is compared, first comparison is already over. Okay, I'm left with only 7. I'm left with only 6 comparison. But I started with 8. That's why, see, and moreover, guys, observe this line also. If R2 is decremented by 1, if it is not equal to 0, where it is jumping? It is jumping to L3. That means this line is excluded. That means R2 will not be, this line will not be executed again. Only R2 is decremented only once here. Once it is decremented from 8 to 7 here. After that, this line will never be executed. Only this line will be executed. Okay, that means from 7 it goes to 6. See, 7 minus 1, 6. 6 minus 1, 5. Like this, it reaches 0. Once it reaches 0, it will come out of the program. Now the question should be, instead of this line, let me edit this code. Okay, instead of this, if I take it as 7, what will happen? If I take this as 7, this line is optional. As you said, as you rightly got the point, this line is optional. I can eliminate this line. Okay, but I will written this code with the intention that since we are dealing with register banks as 8 registers, we are comparing the content of all the 8 registers, but the number of comparison is only 7. With that intention, I am decrementing R2 by 1 to make sure that will make only 8 comparisons. So this DGNZ R2 will make sure that number of comparison is only 7, not 8. With that intention, okay. You may ask a question: is this really the correct logic for this? What you can do is run the program with R2 7. Okay, don't decrement. Run the program with R2 7. If this works, that means it's correct. No problem. Okay. But if you start with 8, if you do not decrement here, then you may get a wrong result. You may not get a proper result. That's what I tried. You can test with that. You can take that as an assignment. Anybody, not the one who asked the question. It applies to anybody. You try with this. Okay. Remove this line. Remove this decrement R2 line. Try with R2 as 8. Let's see what happens. If that gives an error, that gives a wrong result, you can reduce R2 to 7. Run the program. You can delete this line. That should work. Ideally, that should work. But my intention was, as I just now explained, since our register bank is, we are dealing with register bank, since it has 8 registers, I took, not to have any confusion, I took R2 as 8. Very simple. So for that, for number of comparisons to be 7, we have to decrement it by 1. Does that give some?
Yes, sir. It's now clear.
Things may not be clear. That's why I said, coding. Yesterday I was answering somebody, in the WhatsApp, coding. How to learn a coding? how any person can learn a coding. Okay, by learning theory gives basic idea. It's just a skeleton. Okay, by coding, as I said, to get a proper code for this 5B program, I think I corrected 4 to 5 times. Then I got the correct program. Okay, in the first go, as I said, when everything was okay, this decrement R2 was giving an error. I don't know why I was getting wrong result, because here I'm taking care of decrement R2, but the number of comparison was 8. Okay, what happens if number of comparison is 8? I'll tell you. Okay, what happens if the number of comparison is 8 instead of 7? What will happen is, yes, after this register bank reaches the final location, okay, it will go to the next location. Okay, that is, the last data will be compared with the next location. What is the next location, guys? By the way, next location is the first register of register bank 3. First register of register bank 3. If you don't have this line, what does the compiler does is, with R2 8, if you start R2 8, and if you don't have this line, the last comparison will be done with the last number of register bank 2 and the first register of register bank 3. What is the first register of register bank 3? It's something else. We have some other data in register bank 3, and this comparison will give a wrong result. For example, let us say this was 0. For example, this was 0, and let us say, for example, you are finding the smallest number. For example, okay, you are finding the smallest number. Okay, what is the comparison order, guys? First 2 numbers are compared, next 2 numbers, like this comparison will go on. We are finding the smallest number. Since number of comparison should be only 7, I did not decrement R2 here. Number of comparison now it is 8 because I did not decrement R2 here. Last comparison is between last register of register bank 2 and first register of register bank 3. What is the first location of register bank 3? For example, let us say if it is 0, it will compare 8 and 0. It will conclude that the smallest number is 0. In fact, 0 is not the actual given data in the given array. 0 is not our actual data. 0 is something else which we are not supposed to compare. Okay, this will be the problem if number of comparison is not controlled. Okay, so what you have to remember is very simple. For 8 bytes of data, if you want to find out the largest or the smallest, number of comparisons should always be 7, not 8. Okay, that's all. Okay, anyway, that was a really lengthy. Anyway, that's good. If you can understand, fine. As I said, you can give a trial and error. Try to you comment this out, and you can check the output. You can make sure you can check whether the result is correct or not. Okay, yes, let us run the program. If nobody has any other doubt, I'll run the program. I'll add the program to the project, add existing files to the project. The program is 5B. I named it so that I should not have any confusion. 5B. Add the program to the project. This is the program. I save the program. I'll check for the syntax error. Build target. Yes, just a second. There are few messages in my WhatsApp. Just give me 2 minutes, guys. Okay. Just give me 2 minutes. Just a minute. Because I didn't check the WhatsApp for some time, so there are so many. I'll not check all the messages, of course. Some official messages sent by my colleagues. Okay, fine, done. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let us run the program. Okay? So, are there any syntax errors? Lucky, no, because I've tried this program for many times. Okay, debug start session. Debug start session. Yes, here we go. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, what is the first part of the program is? Since okay, so I need to store some data in the location starting from 30H to 37H. Okay. So let me load some data to location 30H to 37H. Again, I open core memory window because we need to parallelly observe the locations. I'll store some data, guys. Some single numbers I'll store. In the 5A program, at least we need to separate, that lower nibble. like for example 39H, I need to separate 9 from the 39. So that's why I gave some bigger number. So for this program, it's not necessary. I'll give some single numbers, that should be okay. 8 numbers I have to provide. 3, 1, 6, 2, 6, 7, okay. Some numbers may repeat, possible. Let me give 9. There are 8 numbers. Okay, yeah, there are 8 numbers. Okay, fine. What is the second part of the program, guys? Second part of the program says store the even numbers in the register bank 1. That means I'll open one more memory window to point to the register bank 1. Somewhere here, yeah, that is 08H. The location is 08H. Okay, yeah. And the third part of the program says store the odd numbers in the register bank 2. Register bank 2 starts from the 10H. Register bank 2 starts from the location 10H. 10H. Okay. So what is the last part of the program is? The last part of the program says find the difference between the largest even number. Okay. Observe this. This is not the question. If it is a largest odd number and the even number, then it is a then you have to be careful. Okay, so here it is the question says largest even number and the largest. Of course, they may be expecting the magnitude. That's a different issue. But in this case, if you let's say if you perform 7 minus 9, you get FE. Okay, FE, and if you perform 9 minus 7, you get 02. Okay, you be careful, guys. Okay, it says largest difference between largest even number and the largest odd number. Okay, so thereby what I'm assuming is it is even minus odd. Largest even minus largest odd number. Largest even minus largest odd. Okay, and store the result in R0. We can check the R0 in here only. We need to open a separate memory window for that. We can check here only R0. We can check here only. Okay, fine. Here we go. I'm running the program. I'm pressing F11 on my keyboard. I'm step execution. Okay. F11 on my keyboard. So observe this, this data, and observe. Let us first observe the location starting from 08H, which is the register bank 1, where all the even numbers will be available. Should be available. Okay, and register bank 2 should have all the odd numbers. That's how it is from the given numbers. Okay, so what the numbers are taken is just for quick reference. So it is 5, 1, 6, 2, 8, and let's say 7, 3, 9. Very simple. Okay. Yes. So all the even numbers should be available in 08H now. Okay. There is a register bank 1. F11 on my keyboard. I'll go on pressing F11 on this stepwise execution. I can run that straight away, but just to check, whether you can observe that the first even number came out of the given data. The first even number is 6. First even number is copied into register bank 1. Okay. Please come, please. Please hold on a second. Some students are here. Just hold on. Your name is Neeraj Kumar. Yes. Because after a long time we are meeting and
Yes, sir. Almost 1.5
years. Yes, that's right. Okay. This is for the Bonaparte certificate. 63 for passport. Okay. Yes, sure. Page 2. 7.
Thank you, sir.
Yours is project Viva is I think
Already done.
no, not for you, sorry. For your for your
When will the final exam happen?
possibly this month is July, no? Possibly end of this month. They are waiting for the data, how many students have vaccinated. So they're waiting for the
Maybe
data.
I
Once it,
vaccinated, but still not the complete, I think so.
that's the problem. But that information is very much required now, without which academic activity cannot proceed. Okay.
They have an internship I was internship facility also.
ಅದಾಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ more no ಒಂದಾಯ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲ only one internship. I think there is no exam for internship.
Okay.
It's only internals. Exam is Viva is only for project.
No, only for project you have Viva and
ಅಷ್ಟೇ only your Viva is pending, not the internship. There is no separate way of internship.
People were telling you that internship or
Internship here, is there any? No, I think there is no Viva. There is no Viva. Only for project there is a Viva. Okay. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. So now I think it's already one number is already sorted. Okay. One even number is stored in register one. Let me continue. F11 on my keyboard. This is that my mic is on. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes I'll turn off mic and I'll be talking. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. You can observe that out of the given data, the second even number should be 2. Is 2 according to the given data. The data we have provided. The 2 should be copied into the next location. Okay. You can observe that second location is copied with 2. If you learn on my keyboard, the process continues. All the even numbers are stored in will be copied into register bank 1. Register bank 1. That's all. Okay. I don't have any more what you call even numbers. I'll go to next memory window. That is where odd numbers will be stored. Where the odd numbers will be stored. F11 on my keyboard. The program continues. Okay. The first odd number is 5. The 5 should be copied. Okay. Oh yeah, 5 came to the first location in the register bank 2. Like this, next data is 1. It should come in the order because I'm doing the comparison in the order. That should be copied in that particular order. Next is 7. Next odd number is 7. Next odd number is 7. Next odd number is 3. I think I've given more odd numbers. Okay, no problem. Okay. Next odd number is 9. Okay. So 9 is copied into the register bank 2. Okay, fine. Yes, next is I need to next part of the program is these odd numbers will be sorted in the descending order. Descending order means 9. It will be like 9, 7, 5, 3, 1. Okay. So first I am sorting the descending odd numbers. Then I'll sort the even numbers. Then I'll take the difference between largest even number minus largest odd number. Okay, fine. Please observe the same location now. These locations, the data will be arranged in the descending order. F11 on my keyboard. This continues. Okay, observe the location. The data will start moving in a particular order. Okay. Is that yes. Was there any changes? Is it moving? Or am I doing the odd numbers or even number? Okay. Oh, sorry guys, I think it is running the. Oh yes, it is running the even number. Sorry, I was checking the odd numbers. Okay, it is running the even numbers. Oh, sorry, it is odd number only. Yes, I'm sorry. It is odd number only. Observe this odd number. Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. This is not sorting. I'm sorry. It is not sorting. What it is doing is it's comparison. I should have opened the location 60H. I'm sorry. This should be. Yes, I'll open. Sorry. Let me run it again. Here I'll open the location 60H. I thought it is sorting. It is not sorting. It is the largest. Okay. So I open. It's actually the program is already run. Okay. It's already sorted. Stored the largest even and odd number. I'll run it again, of course, no problem. This is 60H location and this is the 61H location. Okay, yes. This quickly, okay, now the data will change, no problem. Okay, I'll run the program again. I thought it is a sorting program and I was waiting for the number to change. It was not sorting, it was finding the largest and the smallest number. Okay. First, load the data in the 30th location. I'll take some data, guys, modify data. I'll take some random numbers. 8, 2, 7, 4 numbers, and let's say 3, some numbers. Okay. Are there 8 numbers? Yes, here we go. Okay. So again, we'll press F11 on my keyboard. Guys, we observed this 08H location and 010 location. There is register bank 1 and register bank 2. Okay, let us observe only the last location. There is a 60H location and 61H location. F11 on my keyboard. It is finding the largest and even number and odd number. So it will. You can observe that here. You can find out. it is separating the largest even number and it's separating even numbers and odd numbers to register bank 1 and register bank 2. After separating even numbers and odd numbers, it will go to the to find the difference of largest even number and the largest odd numbers. It is now finding the odd numbers. It's separating the odd numbers. Once it is done, it will store the even number in 6H location, odd number in 61H location. Yes. Okay. Observe that here. Yeah. Now you can find that the largest odd number is in 60H location. Okay. So the program execution continues, and the largest even number is in 61H location. Okay. So what we have to do now is we have to perform 61H minus 60H location. Difference of content of 61H location minus 60H location. Okay. That should be stored in register 0 R0. Okay. So if you learn on my keyboard, the data result is stored in R0. It is not a run yet. Okay. When this is run, that is the end of the line. So it is 8 minus 7. So 61H has 8. 8 minus 7, the result is 01, which is stored in the R0 of register bank 0. That's all. It's okay. So that's about the okay. Yes, just out of curiosity, I'll not discuss interrupts now. That I'll continue in the next class. Yes, out of curiosity, let us delete this line, decrement auto. Let us see what happens. Just out of curiosity, should we be getting the correct answer? I'll do one thing. I'll take R2 as 7. I'll comment out this line, this decrement R2. Let us see what happens. If you get the same result, then that decrement R2 is not necessary. If R2 is 0, R2 is 7. If R2 is 7, then this decrement will not be necessary. I'll run the program again. Yes, this way you may have to, you have to play with the compiler, I mean, there is the only way to learn the coding, compiler will teach you a lot of things, cannot ignore the compiler. So I'll be taking some different data guys, I don't remember which number, in which order I gave, 1 to 9 anyway, I gave from 1 to 9, so I'll give the same numbers, starting from 38, 5, 6, 7, 8. And how many numbers are to go? 9. Okay, 9 numbers. Okay. So largest even is 8. Largest odd number is 9. Very simple. Okay. I'll not run stepwise. I'll straight away run the program. Debug run. Okay. So if the numbers are 9 and 7 here, it's correct. The program is correct. The decrement R2 is not necessary. Okay, it's correct. It's correct. Okay. But guys, observe this here. What happened to R0? It is FFH because it has run 60H minus 61H. 61H. That means it is 8 minus 9. Hexadecimal subtraction. It is FFH. It is FFH. Okay. So that's why this R0 is wrong now. R0 is wrong. But here it is correct. This sorting is correct, but that is wrong. Okay. So next trial is that I'll keep R2 as last trial. This is with this I'll wind up this R2 I'll keep it as 8. Whether it is this R2 is here it is. I think I didn't change in both the program. This I've done in the both the programs. Okay, I'll keep R2 as 8. I'll comment out decrement R2 line. I'll keep R2 as 8. I'll comment out decrement R2. Let us see what happens. Okay. Okay, this is the problem I got in when I was checking the program. It was not giving correct correct result. Then I had to decrement R2. That was the idea. Okay. So let us run the program again. With hopefully I'll run the program with the same numbers. I'm not sure. Let us take some numbers. Is it 8 number guys? 2, 6, 3, 5, 1, 4. Okay. I'm making sure that sorry, I gave in a wrong location. I gave the program in a data in a wrong location. That should be giving in 30H. Let me run the program again. Save, build target, and debug start session. Okay, and I'll run the program. Let me erase this. I'm not able to see this properly. Okay, so I should be giving in 30th location the data. Okay, 8 and 9. I'll make sure that I think I gave more numbers, right? 6, 2, 3, 5, 1, 4, 8. Okay, 8 and 9. 8 and 9 is the largest even and odd numbers. I'll run the program debug run. So for us, what is important? Let's observe this. What is important is this is okay. 8 and 9 we got it, but this is giving wrong. Difference of even number and odd number is wrong. Okay, it should have been 1. Correct? Okay, no, sorry, it's correct actually. It is correct. Why? Because it is correct. Why? Because difference of even and odd number, it is 8 minus 9. It is correct. Still, it is correct. FFH. Okay, it is FFH. It is correct. Okay, that means decrement ought to is not necessary. So I conclude that decrement ought to is not, without decrement ought to it works fine. Decrement ought to it works fine. Okay, now I'll run the program with. I'll make sure that R2 is the largest. R2 is larger. Even number is larger than odd number. That way, I'll give the numbers. Let us try with that also. If that works, we can conclude that that decrement R2 is not necessary. Okay, so it's necessary. We can remove that line. Okay, so we can remove that line. 30th location. We can okay. 8, 5, 6, 2, 3, 1. How many numbers is 7? 8 numbers. No. I'll give a number as let's say 3. Some number. It's no problem. Okay. So we have to make. Okay. So now the largest even number is 8, and the largest odd number is 7. We should get 1. If everything goes well, we should get 1. Debug run. Okay, that's correct. That's correct. Okay, optimization, guys. This is what is called as program optimization. We can remove these 2 lines. Decrement auto. Decrement auto is unnecessary. Okay. Similarly, you can try with another possibilities. You can try with some other possibilities. And if you find that some of these lines are redundant, that is unnecessary, you can let me know. I'll update in this program. Okay. So this is the final program. I mean, hopefully, if you can come out with some other optimization technique, let us include that also. Okay. Hopefully, this session, I mean, you could understand this 5 and 5B program. In most of the assignment programs, you'll have the similar thing. It is even simpler than this. Just to check port bits, if it is 1 or 0, arrange the data in a particular order, or perform a logical AND operation, or logical OR operation, logical XOR operation, something like that. Okay. Okay. Yes. Today afternoon, what we do is you can log in. Those who have done the simulation, you can share your screen. 2 in a team. To those 2 who are in a team, those who got the output, they can come online. You can show the output. Okay. If it is correct, it's okay. If it is not correct, also you need not worry. You can take some time. You can correct it. You can show the output. Once the output is ready, I mean, once the output is correct according to the program statement, then you can submit the report. So for report submission, you can take 1 or 2 days. That's not issue. And report submission also you can do it within a day. You don't you need not spend too much time on preparing the report. Report submission, the intention is for our record purpose. Because we have conducted assignment and AIT, we have seen the output. Everything is fine. You have written the program. Everything is okay. But if we don't have any proof, that will not complete the process. Okay. So report submission is a must. And I'll share the separate link for AIT report submission, as well as what you call assignment report submission. Okay, fine. Thank you. Thanks for joining. See you soon. Okay, take care. Bye.